guys, what's going on? Um, I'm back to talk about some more Lone Mountain information. Um, I guess actually by starting off, I wanted to do a video on some things and kind of let you guys in on when I was looking. I really couldn't find a whole lot of um, kind of personalized Lone Mountain stuff, especially on YouTube. I was able to find a lot of reviews, a lot of good reviews, a lot of really bad reviews, to be honest. Um, and I mean, there was a lot of bad reviews, but on the same hand, I tried to think to myself a little bit. Well, when I have an experience and it's not a good one, I'm way more likely to get online and fuss about it and spread, bad information and, bad name about whoever caused me that bad experience. But if I have a really good experience somewhere, I'm kind of caught up in the good experience and, to be honest, just a lot of times don't even think about leaving positive feedback or positive remarks about a place. It's always when you've had a bad experience. You want to ruin that place kind of in the back of your mind, or at least in the back of mine. So I think a lot of times, me speaking for myself, don't give props when I should give props. So I guess you could kind of say this is a positive for Lone Mountain. I've been rolling since the beginning of January, and knock on wood, my wood table right here. No bad experience so far. No really bad experience. I mean, there's been a little bit of hiccups, but nothing that isn't to be expected, really. This is my bird over there singing, Annie Griffith, if you can hear. So to touch on, starting at the beginning, I went from being a company driver for about 2 years, being home 2 or 3 times a week, to with that same company being day cab and being home every day and being paid hourly. From the very beginning when I got my CDL, I said, I want to I listened, to the wisdom of the old, trucker way. Get your experience in as a company driver and kind of learn the business a little bit and then move on from there. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to be a company driver for a couple of years, and then I'd like to go drive somebody else's truck that maybe owns a fleet that leases on to a company, maybe owns like 5 trucks or so. So I did that. I found a guy that I'm about 2 hours from the ports in Savannah, Georgia, and I found a guy that had about 5 trucks, and he was leased on to a container company. So I got in one of his trucks and drove for him for a few months, and got in good with the company, and really hadn't planned on so fast getting my own truck, but he was a great guy and was really fair. Never tried to cheat me or anything like that. If anything, he was real giving. But I was in an '07 Freightliner, and every morning I got in the truck, it was just something else. It was just like lights not working, or the engine skipping, or dead batteries, or just a lot of stuff, and we never really could get it fixed in a timely fashion because he had 5 other trucks and he tried to do all the maintenance himself. So I found myself having to drive without running lights a lot of times, or when I say running lights, I had brake lights and running lights on my trailer, my lights were out on my truck for a while. Brake light, or not brake lights, but running lights were out on my truck for a while. And then like the marker lights, like above the windshield and on the side, and those went out. It just got to be a pain getting it fixed. And then I had to drive to his house, which is like 30 minutes away, every week to get a paper check and then find a place to cash it and all, because he didn't do direct deposit. And that just kind of all got irritating. Meanwhile, I'm looking into leasing trucks and the different options, and there was some decent options out there. Like, I know people say like, oh, you pay $1,200-$1,300 a month for a new truck, you're not going to make any money, and you should never pay that much for a truck. But I mean, it's for 3.5 years, and do the mileage up. Get you a truck that when you're done paying on it, you'll still have a little bit of life left in it if you've maintained and done it well. Like my truck, I did the math on my truck with the mileage that I run, on the high side, just kind of shooting high a little bit. I'll have about 750,000 miles on it when I get it paid off. It does have the DEF system on it, so I know that's decreases the mileage that you can put on a truck before it needs some work. Major work like inline or in frame. But I mean, the pros outweighed the cons. I mean, I saw what my paycheck was when I was pulling containers with that guy's truck, and basically, if I doubled that, that's what I would be bringing home if I drove my own truck. And then, of course, my monthly truck payment and insurance and all that. So anyway, I decided to do it, and I really went with Lone Mountain just because they were the biggest, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, if they were so bad, they wouldn't have gotten so big. And I mean, it's just word spreads by word of business spreads by word of mouth a lot of times instead of all the reviews on the internet. I see guys at the truck stop all the time, and I tell them about my experience with Lone Mountain, and that's been the past 4 months, and I'm just getting on here to make a video about it. So everything and all the information that you need a lot of times isn't on the internet. So with that being said, the process for me was maybe a little easier than somebody who's in like Tennessee or Kentucky or somewhere like that. They have, I think it's like 4 locations. They have one in, don't hold me to it, but I think Texas, Nevada, Utah, I think, and Georgia. And it just so happens I'm in Georgia, and the location that they're at is only like 2 hours from my house, tops. So when I called Lone Mountain, I told them that, and they told me to fill out a credit application, so I filled out a credit application. The next day, a lady called me from their financing department, which is actually technically a different company called Cresco Capital. And she went over, she had pulled my credit and went over everything with me. Now, my credit was not the best at all. Like, my credit wasn't even 600. It was like 540 or something like that. And I didn't have any repossessions, though. I didn't have bankruptcy. So that was like a major thing. That's like a major thing for them. Everything on my credit was like medical bills, me canceling a cell phone contract early, or 1 or 2 cell phone contracts early, and not paying that outrageous amount that they want you to pay for doing that. Maybe like a credit card that I didn't finish paying off that went to collections. Things like that. And a lot of it was over 4 years old. but I just didn't have anything good on there, like, at all. Um, so she said that she would review everything. I filled out the application. She called me back the next day, said she would review everything. Called me back, I think, 1 or 2 days later, and said that everything looked good. She wanted to know my business plan. That was like a big thing. She wanted to know, like, how much I could afford for a truck payment, how much I could afford to put down, how much I had saved up to have after I put a down payment down, and then what I planned on putting back every week to for like truck maintenance and things like that. So I went into all that with her and told her all that, and I guess I had the right answers. They don't want you to have like a business plan written out and all this kind of stuff. They just kind of want to know like how you plan on running your business. And so she said all that sounded good, so she approved me. And then she assigned me a salesman that was actually over in one of the other locations that wasn't even in Georgia. And he sent me and him got in contact, and he asked what kind of truck I wanted. I said, well, I don't want an expensive one, so I'm probably going to go with one of the internationals. They have a little bit lower of a down payment, and their monthly payment is lower, which in the end equals a lower truck cost. So I told him that I wanted an international. I told him that I definitely wanted one with 300,000 in the 300,000 range, because the way that they do it, they set it up. They set it up like in the 300,000 range, it'll be X amount down and X amount a month. For 400,000 range, it'll be X amount down, which is lower, and then X amount a month. And then 500,000 range, which will be the lowest down payment and the lowest monthly payment. So, but I wanted to make sure that I had some life in my truck left when I got done paying it off. So, or at least had a better chance of it. So, I did the 300, told him that I wanted information on the ones with 300. So he sent me a list of trucks that they had at the Georgia location that matched the criteria that I wanted. It was basically just VIN numbers, because all of the payments were the same because they were all in the 300,000. So, and there was no pictures of the truck. It was just printed information on paper. So I decided, well, I'm not, and then they want you to put a down payment down without seeing the truck. Which is okay. You can do that, because when you get there, you'll see your truck. And if you don't like it, or if it doesn't run good, you just switch a down payment to one that you do like that's there. And if you don't like any of them, they'll give you your down payment back. It's no big deal. So, so I was like, I only live 2 hours away. Can I just go look at the trucks? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So I drove down there, and I just picked out the best looking one on the lot, with the best looking engine, no oil on the block, nothing leaking, the least amount of rust on the frame, the cleanest interior, the best body, all that. Because one thing that I think is actually good is they don't clean the trucks up before you put a down payment on it. They haven't touched the truck at all. It's exactly the way it was when it comes from Swift or Knight or whoever they buy these things from. They buy them from Swift, Knight, and a few other places I can't remember. But they buy their old trucks as their new ones are coming in. They buy the old ones. So that gives you a chance to look at the truck like it is. Like, whoever had the truck last, you get to see how they kind of rode in it. If it's nasty and dirty and grungy, they probably didn't take care of the engine and the maintenance and all that stuff and be on top of it like they should. A lot of times if it's nasty like that, they've driven it like a bat out of hell, and you just don't want it. So I picked one that looked like it had been good and taken care of. And I couldn't put my down payment on it there. I had to call my salesman, put my down payment down over the phone, and then that reserves that truck for you. No one can get that truck. No one can buy that truck. And then they take it, they put it in the shop, they do any work to it that they need to. They put new virgin drive tires on, and get it all ready for you, washed up, all that kind of stuff. Then when you get there, after they've done all that, you get to take the truck for the day. They open up at like 8, and they tell you don't have to be back till 5. They tell you just not to drive more than 30 miles. So I took the truck, drove it around. If you like the way that it drives and everything, then it's on you and your money to take it down the road to the Freightliner dealership and get a DOT inspection done on it and a dyno test done on it. That'll tell you if there's any major issues with the truck. It tests for a lot of different things. It's a really good test to do. Both of those tests together cost me $290. So you want to test drive the truck for a little while before you decide to make the commitment to go get the inspections done on it. Because once you do that, if it fails the inspections, then and you want to put your down payment on a different truck, then you've lost that $290, and now you have to put $290 more down, or not down, but towards getting another truck tested. So drive it for a little while, inspect it for yourself, look at it, look it over. If you feel comfortable spending the money to take it for the test, like you feel like it's going to do good, take it for the test. Then you come back, fill out all the paperwork, and as for me, there was nothing major that they needed to do. I found anything that you find with the truck before you take possession of it, or fill out the paperwork, they'll fix it. So like, I had some cigarette outlets out, for your power outlets that were out. The hand controls on the steering wheel didn't turn the radio up and down. So when I got back, after I had it tested and everything, they put it in the shop like right then. Like the second I got back, they put it in the shop. I made a list. They put it in the shop. They fixed everything right then. Now I was there for the rest of the day, but they still got it fixed before I left. And that's all I'm going to cover for today. Because this video is getting kind of long. It's running on 18 minutes. So just wanted to start there. I'll go over a lot more, like the different options that you have, saving for repairs and maintenance, what they cover in their little warranty, because they have a little warranty. Don't rely too much on it. And then your timeline to actually getting in a truck and getting rolling, and then the experiences that I've had after that, as far as like being in the truck and working in the truck and how it's working out for me. So stick around. I'll make another video and we'll continue to catch up. Thanks a lot for watching my videos, and subscribe and hit the bell. I plan on making a lot more. So have a great one.